You're about to watch a Trains Newswire video. If you enjoy what you see, consider watching some of our other full-length videos. Hotspots, Horseshoe Curve, Tehachapi, Chicago Racetrack, and more. Locomotive, the video companion to our best-selling special issue. And a special collection from documentary producer Rich Luckin. All these and more are available from our website, kalmbachhobbystore.com. Good morning, Trains Nation. Today is Friday, September 7th.
Until midnight.
Until midnight. And it's 2018 all day until midnight. Well, until the end of the year. But anyway.
Yeah, one of those things.
One of those
yeah,
things.
whatever you said.
It all works out. Hey, we're so glad you could join us for another episode of Trains Newswire Roundup. I am Steve Sweeney.
Hi, I'm Jim Wren. Lots to go over this week. It was a short news week. You know,
this is true.
We took the Labor Day holiday off. All you railroaders, I know, still had to work. Sorry about that, but railroading is 24/7, as they say. Mm-hmm. But lots to catch our eyes. First thing that really struck me this week was CSX folks talking at an investor conference, and now they're
in Boston.
And now they're going back on what Hunter Harrison said last year. He said no to one-man train crews,
right.
And they're saying all this PTC money, we want to get it back now through one-man train crews or autonomous trains.
Well, he said eventually autonomous trains.
Right.
So, and he thinks, the guy who was speaking was Frank Ronegro,
right.
who's their chief financial officer.
CFO. Mm-hmm.
And he said that within his career at the railroad, he's going to see one-person crews.
Yep, and he's only 50-something.
He's only 50-something, so he could last, another 20 years or so. I mean, dang, that's coming fast.
So that's NS and CSX, and I think BNSF has sort of hinted around on this too.
Yeah, BNSF a couple of years ago came out with a proposal to have roving conductors, master conductors, whatever you want to call them, right. To sort of mind trains that are out there in the American outback,
right,
with a one-person crew on board. So it's coming. All the executives say it's coming. It's just a question of when.
And a lot of it that's driving is not only the investment in PTC,
right,
but also the technological advances that are happening in trucking, where they can platoon trucks, run them in sort of trains on the highways, if you will.
Yeah.
So there's some need to do some efficiencies there as well.
Right, and compete with the trucks because the trucks have been always so much more inefficient compared to railroads. But if all of a sudden you can have one driver up front, this is what I think we're talking about when we talk about platooning. You might have 5 double trailer trucks on a highway and one driver in front, and all the trucks behind it are computer controlled. Like, oh, this guy's slowing down up front, we'll slow down. He's going up, we'll speed up. He's turning left, we'll turn left. And once you have that, you have the power of the interstate highway system plus all the roads and bridges and little dirt alleys like the ones I live near up in northern Wisconsin.
Yes, that place.
Yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, one-person crews are coming, whether you like it or not. Something interesting. I would like to see this when it's finished. Long Island Railroad, on Long Island, their new triple track. Do you see that?
No, I missed that one.
It's been talked about
That's
for
cool.
decades. And Governor Cuomo and Long Island Railroad officials came out this week and said, yep, we're going to have a triple track main line for about 10 miles.
How much is that going to cost them?
$2.6 billion. Wow.
Why does that not surprise me?
That's a lot of money. If I remember correctly from our previous reporting, they didn't do a lot of land acquisition because Long Island is a very expensive place. So they didn't need to buy too much land. They could sort of fit all 3 tracks into one area. But good for them. And I think this will compete with a triple track down and around Chicago.
Nice.
The racetrack. Nice. So I can't wait to see it.
That's pretty cool.
Up and running. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Happy note for GE Transportation. You just sold 60 locomotives to Canadian National. And it was behind door number 1. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
They keep racking them up. Hey, EMD, come on. You got to keep in this race.
So these will be built, I think, in Fort Worth.
That's correct.
Plant.
Yep.
Because Erie is still doing overseas market and rebuilds and overseas.
Rebuilds and I don't think overseas anymore.
Okay.
I think that's pretty much pretty much gone, or will be gone very soon.
But anyway, good news for the guys in Fort Worth. Yep. They're still building equipment down there. That's cool. And obviously CN's traffic just continues to just soak up all this power.
Well, we've got a story out there from Bill Stevens this week that says that Canadian railroads are going to double their volume of crude oil traffic by the end of 2019. Double the volume of crude oil traffic. And it's already at or higher than what it was back in 2013 when an incident happened. You remember that, Lake Mechanic. So anyway, so we're hoping that they've got all the safety issues taken care of, but a lot more traffic on CN, a lot more construction projects on CN, and just booming times for railroads as far as we can see.
And we have a good time with it because they're right outside our backyard here in Wisconsin. So we get to see a lot of that. And you get to see it because you live near it. And I mean, that railroad is just busy all the time. There's a train in every siding.
That's right.
All the time.
You hear them signal for the crossings day and night. So
they're going, going to town.
It's good stuff. I think you know a little bit more about this than I do. The Ma and Pa.
Ma and Pa took a real bad hit.
Damage.
The Preservation Society at Muddy Creek Forks was way too appropriately named this week. Heavy rains, flooding, washed out some of their track, got into some of their buildings. You know, it's not only just a railroad, but it was like a railroad village.
Yes.
Out in the country, sort of northwest of Baltimore, but took a big hit. And actually, it's the flooding and the water problems are all over. There's not only that, the Class 1 railroads having a lot of trouble out here in our neck of the woods in Wisconsin. Mid-Continent Railway Museum having a lot of problems. They had to relocate equipment. They had water in buildings, things like that.
Right.
So it's there's a lot of misery to go around when it comes to water this year.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of sad, kind of sad. But then some upturn news from flooding back 2 years ago, Hudson Bay Railway. Hudson Bay Railway is coming back. You can take a train to
see the
Churchill
polar bears.
again.
Finally get to see the polar bears by rail.
Yeah, which is really cool. So Omnitracks agreed to sell to what appears to be a consortium. That's one of those words you don't get to use every day. No. Consortium. It's in the dictionary. Cool. Google it. Consortium. It's 10 or so organizations and companies. They're buying the Port of Churchill. They're buying some oil tanks in Churchill that use, or fuel tanks, for the people in the area, and the railroad itself. So it looks like it will be started repairs immediately, and read Newswire for exactly when it's going to be up and in service.
Neat. If you like 20-cylinder locomotives, 3,600 horsepower, and flared radiators, there's good news this week. Actually, not flared radiators. One of them's flared radiator. There were two interesting developments in diesel preservation this week. A group in Youngstown, Ohio is saving a Erie-Lackawanna SDP 45 that's been in Roanoke, Virginia for a long, long time, sort of a war trophy that VMT had from a long time ago. And then the other good news is CSX donated an SD 45-2, an old Seaboard Coastline engine, to the Southeastern Railroad Museum, which is Atlanta's Railroad Museum down there. So
nice
good news there.
Good for them.
Good job, both.
Oh, I'm trying to think. That's what I've got today, except that I won't be here.
Yes.
Until October.
Take a good look at him, folks. Memorize what Steve looks like. The next time you see him, he'll be a little bit more Swiss.
That's right, because I will be jetting off Saturday evening for Switzerland, Zurich specifically. And on Tuesday of next week, I will be helping to lead a group of 34 enterprising individuals on a 2-week tour of Swiss railroads. I'm excited, I'm geared up. I almost have all my stuff packed. I'm putting it all in one duffel. But here's the clincher. I found out that one of the side things that I'm going to do before the tour requires me to take my steel toe boots.
Ooh, nice.
I'm still trying to figure the logistics on this.
I like that. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, it'll work.
It'll work. They'll go through the metal detector, I'm sure. No problem at all. So, and by the way, if you're interested in the Swiss tour, this year is obviously done.
Booked. It's sold out.
Booked out. But there's room on next year's tour. Take a look at trainsmag.com for details about that tour and our partner Special Interest Tours. You can go take a look at that and sign up.
Yeah, absolutely. So. And in the following weeks, check out my stories from Switzerland on Trains at trainsmag.com and also on Facebook and Twitter. And for everyone at Trains, we hope you have a great weekend.
And you have a good trip.
Thank you.
Take care.